guys, welcome back to Tony TV. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I thought that it would be really fun to tier rank every single book that I read in 2025. So I read 53 books, a total of 25,008 pages read. The shortest book I read was Nora Goes Off Script, which was 272 pages. The longest book was Kingdom of Ash. That was 984 pages. The average book length was 471 pages. The book that was shelved by the most people was The Hunger Games, which I'm not surprised. My least shelved book was Storm of Secrets and Sorrow, which is so weird. I don't remember that being the name of this book. My average rating for the year was 3.8 stars. My highest rated book on Goodreads was Kingdom of Ash, 5-star. My first review of the year was A Court of Silver Flamed. I loved this book. Okay, so here I have 5 categories. My number 1 being Inject Into My Veins. That's self-explanatory. These books are books that changed something within me, if you don't mind. Something has changed within me. These books altered my brain chemistry. Like, I loved these books. My next ranking is I loved it. I loved it. I recommend. Self-explanatory. Just know. Just know. And I read this, ? Because honestly, there's so many times that I'm like, when did I read that book? Like, I don't remember reading that. This is all in the order of which I've read all these books, okay? So we're gonna start with the first book that I read of the year, which is A Court of Silver Flames. And guys, I'm gonna have to inject this one into my veins. This was honestly my favorite book of the whole ACOTAR series. I loved this book. And I was a Nesta hater from the beginning, but once you read this book, it's just like, we had to get her point of view. And also it just means so much more now that Sarah J. Maas did her interview on Call Her Daddy and was just talking about how like she was Nesta. Like, Throne of Glass. You guys, this is my favorite series. My friends have all heard me beat this dead horse over and over and over again, and honestly, I can't stop. This is a great series to get into if you want to get into fantasy, but unfortunately, you will be comparing every fantasy book you read after that to this series, and none of them are going to compare. I have yet to come across a fantasy world that can compare to the Throne of Glass world, and I'm honestly not surprised. Throne of Glass, I loved it. This was the beginning of our girl, what the heck is her name? Selena Sardofian, sorry, like what? Like, I'm over here talking about how I love this series and I'm over here like, what's her name? Second book, Crown of Midnight. I loved it. I loved Crown of Midnight. Look, there is discourse on the reading order for when you should read the prequel, if you should read it first, if you should read it third, fourth, or last. I will die on this hill. Read Assassin's Blade third. Sarah J. Maas even says to read it third. So I don't understand why this is even a conversation here. Here we have Assassin's Blade. And I'm gonna have to inject that into my veins. Yeah. This book is a series of short stories. This book was incredible. Incredible. Like, this book makes the whole series. Everything comes around, everything comes full circle. Everything that Sarah J. Maas is saying matters, and it's important because it's going to mean something later on. I believe Assassin's Blade was my first 5-star of the series. All right, next book we have Heir of Fire. I loved it. This was an amazing book. Now we have Queen of Shadows. Inject that into my veins, yep. Oh, sorry, Karen. This book was when everything just starts hitting the fan. Everything you thought you knew. There's just so many things that happened in this book. I can't even talk about what happened because it's basically like spoilers for the series. So let me get through all this Throne of Glass stuff and we'll talk about some other books. Empire of Storms. I loved her. Tower of Dawn. Loved. If you are reading the Throne of Glass series, you have to do the tandem read for Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. These 2 books occur in the same timeline chronologically, but you're getting 2 different point of views. The way that Empire of Storms finishes, you're gonna want to just jump into Kingdom of Ash, but you can't. And then once you finish those, you can go right into the grand finale of Kingdom of Ash. Can you believe that there's some people that exist that have skipped Tower of Dawn just so that they can see what happens in the following book? Like, that's insane. How are you skipping a whole book in a series? After I read this far in the series. I only had one book left, so I had to take a break and I had to get into some romance just to cleanse my palate for a second, because honestly, I did not want this series to end. It was just so good. I didn't want it to end. I still don't want it to end, and it's already over. Like, it's been over for well over a year now. Okay, so we have Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World. I recommend. This was a great book, a really good romance, like a rom-com. Abby Jimenez has very good writing. I love her writing. She makes me laugh out loud, and that very rarely happens, like ever. So yeah, I definitely recommend any and all of Abby Jimenez's books. Okay, then we have Yours Truly. I recommend it. My mom just read the whole series, actually, and she loved it. All right, we got the next thing, Kingdom of Ash. Inject Into My Veins. This was the grand finale of the greatest book series that I have ever read. Next, we have Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. I love all her books. Like, all her books are amazing. I'm gonna put that into I loved it. I loved this book. This was great. Highly recommend all of her books. Okay, then we have Love Mom. I'm gonna add another one, and I'm gonna add this as meh. I just added a new row titled meh, because yeah, I needed that. I don't know why I didn't have that before. Next book I have is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I loved this book. This was a great book. This was different from any other romance that I've read before. And yeah, this is my first book by Catherine Center. I'm actually reading one of her books right now. I'm reading The Rom-Commers, and I'm loving it. Evenings and Weekends. I read this. I tried so hard to get into like literary fiction. So I was like, oh, I saw a lot of good things about this book. Literary fiction is more character driven and not really plot driven. But Evenings and Weekends, genuinely, nothing happened in this book. Nothing happened. Fourth Wing. Yeah, I'd recommend Fourth Wing. I would totally recommend Fourth Wing. I feel like my thing with Fourth Wing was that like it was good, but I was waiting for it to be great. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually do want to read the second book, Iron Flame, just to see like what happened, because I did like the way that it ended, but I hate when I have to get to an end of a book to be like, oh, okay, like, oh, maybe like this can be good. Like, no, I just read like over 400 pages, and it wasn't until the last 2 pages that I was like, oh, okay, like, no. Next book, we have Emily Henry, Book Lovers. I recommend. I honestly couldn't tell you what this book is about, but I do remember that I had a good time. Maybe I shouldn't recommend it then? I think we're gonna move that down to meh. I don't remember. Like, I don't remember what happened in that book. Next, we have Daughter of No Worlds. I recommend this book. I wish I read it in a different time after reading Throne of Glass. I was so burnt out. I was like, I can't get into another fantasy series. Lessons in Chemistry. Guys, I did not like this book. I did not like that book. Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City. I would recommend it. So this is a modern fantasy. So like they have like phones, they go to clubs, and they live in a city, which was so weird because for me, I'm like, fantasy is like fairies, magic. This is my first like modern fantasy. This was definitely hard to get into the beginning. But of course, after that first 100 pages, I was literally like, next one we have is Funny Story. I loved this book. Next we have The Wedding People. Meh. No. I recommend it. I liked it. Next we have Just for the Summer. I loved this book. Next one we have Same Time Next Summer. This book was incredible. This is Childhood Friends to Lovers. We have time jumps in between chapters. This was an incredible book. Honestly, I might have to just inject this one in my veins. I love this book. This is probably one of my favorite romances ever. Definitely. Next we have Summer Romance. I recommend this book. This is a great romance. Beach read. This was so disappointing because Emily Henry is like so famous for beach read. I didn't like this book. Nothing about this book was giving beach vibe, like at all. Next we have The Song of Achilles. I highly recommend this book. I think everyone should read it. Next we have Magnolia Parks. I freaking love this series. Next one we have is Daisy Hates. I liked this one more than Magnolia. Like, I like Daisy's point of view more than Magnolia because I think hers is just more interesting. Next one we have The Tenant. like I read this. First off, her books give me so much anxiety. Like, her books literally stress me out. I don't even remember what this book was about, so now we have It's a Love Story. This is probably the best book that Emma Monahan has written to date. This book was amazing. The side characters, the found family, the romance, the character growth. I loved every second of this book. Now we have Big Little Lies. Okay. I think I recommend it. Honestly, I haven't thought about this book again since I read it. Well, like, I've watched like the season 1 of the show, but I was never like, oh, this was like an amazing book. But when I did read it, I did have a good time. So next one, we have One Golden Summer. I love this book. So I read this book in one day. I was kicking my feet and giggling and blushing the whole time. I read this on a hot summer day and the vibes were immaculate. The Inheritance Games. Oh, this is another one of those books that it wasn't until the ending that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a good book. So I'm gonna have to put this in, I would recommend it. It's a nice mystery. This book is very, very Knives Out. So if you like Knives Out, you will like The Inheritance Games. Next we have the second book in the Crescent City series, House of Sky and Breath. I'm gonna have to say I recommend it. The ending, if you know, you know. Gagged. I was shocked, jaw dropped on the floor, like I couldn't even believe it. But I still haven't even jumped to the next book, and that book has been out. Now we have Magnolia Parks. Is this The Long Way Home? Yep, The Long Way Home. I recommend the Magnolia Park series. Honestly, the Magnolia Park series is just drama. Then we have Daisy Hates. I'm also gonna recommend this one, The Great Undoing. I also really liked this book, so yes, I recommend. Now we have the favorites. We're gonna put this one in, I loved it. Because I loved this book. This book was so good. And I love the way that it was written. It was kind of written like documentary style. After reading this book and then seeing like the figure skating for the Winter Olympics, it was just like, it was so good. It was so good. Like, it changed figure skating for me. Next one we have is The Surrogate. And it's so funny because like, I will never not read Frida. Like, I will pick up another Frida book again. Reading her books is like equivalent to doom scrolling. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's just like, you're reading just to see what happens, and then when you finally see what happens, you're like, oh my god, thank god that book is over. All right, next we have The Heartless Hunter. This is gonna go into meh. This was a good book. It was all right. I didn't love this book, like, at all. When it was over, I was like, thank god this book is over. Hunger Games. So this is my first reread since I was like in middle school. Hunger Games, obviously, I loved. Catching Fire, inject that into my veins. Okay, the book was so freaking good, guys, so good. And then we have Mockingjay. Loved. Mockingjay was incredible. Okay, I had to zoom out a little bit to let you guys see the overview more, but now we have An Ember in the Ashes. I recommend. Honestly, it was the same thing. Getting into like a new series has been hard for me. I'm also still struggling. I haven't been fully immersed in a fantasy series since I read Throne of Glass, so this was just me also trying again. Now we have None of This Is True. I loved this book. This is a thriller. If you like audiobooks, I highly recommend that you listen to this in audiobook. Lisa Jewell, like, they did not have a budget for that. Next book we have is Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil. I love this book. I love this book. This is my first book by V.E. Schwab. This follows sapphic vampires. Now we have Every Summer After. I'm gonna put that in I recommend. This was the book that comes before One Golden Summer. It was not as good as One Golden Summer, but I recommend it. It was a good book. Now we have Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I loved all of Elsie Silver's books. I read the whole series and it's great. Now we have A Torch Against the Night. I recommend because, like I said, this is the second book in the Ember in the Ashes series. It's a great time. Now we have Reign of Shadows and Endings. I loved this book. I still have to pick up the next book, the third book in the series, but I loved this fantasy world. It was so complex, but it made sense and it was just so different. And then we have the second book. I love these two books. Then we have Wild Side and Wild Love, and I'm just gonna put those I'm gonna put Wild Side and recommend, and I'm gonna put Wild Love, and I loved it because I loved Wild Love. I don't know why it was out of order, but Wild Love is the first book in the series, and that book had me like gagged. I was literally like, I feel like you guys can get some pretty good book runs, and now you can kind of like see what my reading taste is, the kind of books I like to read. I'm very much a mood reader. Like, it's already getting hot outside, and guys, I don't know if I could read like fantasy now. Like, I need to do like romance, I need to do thrillers, stuff like that, because I feel like fantasies is when I like to hibernate and like be in the winter and like cuddled up in like a hoodie. Thank you guys for watching. My Goodreads is linked down below, so add me on Goodreads. I want to see what you're reading, if you want to see what I'm reading. Yeah, if there's one thing that you could have gotten from this video, it would be read Throne of Glass, please, because I need more people to talk about it with. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.